Okay, for Introduction to Engineering Design, what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to show you how to use a set of calipers. We're going to be measuring the distances between parts that have features on them. So like if you look at this part right here, this part has a lot of different features associated to it. So if you look at the side profile, there is a little bit of a notch in the side. If I want to know the dimensions of that notch, well, in real life, I'm going to have to actually measure it out. There's also a step right here, and I can get the dimensions of that too. There's also holes drilled inside of it as well, or at least partial holes. This one doesn't go all the way through. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a set of calipers, and we're going to use a set of calipers to try to find out what the actual distances are. And calipers look like this, and the cool thing about a caliper is it's accurate to the nearest 1/1000th of an inch. And from here on, I'm not going to call them thousandths of an inch. A 1/1000 of an inch, I'm just going to call a thou. So 500 thou would be 500 out of a thousandths of an inch, so that would be half an inch. The first thing that you need to do whenever you see a set of calipers is you need to make sure that the dial is set to 0. Sometimes these things drift over time, so you can see how mine isn't quite on 0. It's just a little bit off. So I'm going to unscrew this screw at the bottom just a little bit, not a lot. I'm going to move the dial to where it's right on 0, and then I'm going to pull it back. Here's how a caliper works. These numbers on the dial on the outside, these are the last 2 digits of your measurement, and there's numbers on the slide up here, and these are going to be the first 2 digits of your measurement. There are no fractions when you're dealing with the caliper, so all of your answers, all of your measurements are going to be in decimal inches. And so here's 0 inches, and then here's 1 inch, and in between it there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're going to get your first 2 digits from these numbers right here, and your last 2 digits are going to be from these 2 numbers right here. So let me give you an example of how to do that. So I'm going to measure this width of this little tab up here at the top. So I'm going to take my calipers, I'm going to stretch them out, I'm going to try to make sure that I'm square, so you're going to push it and then try to make sure that you're not, you want to pull it tight, but you don't want to pull it like super tight. So right here, let's see what we got here. It looks like this one's like right on 0 on the dial. So if I'm looking down here, that's 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes right to 5. So that's going to be 0.500. This tab is right on half an inch. Okay, let's try to see if we can find one that's not so much. Another thing is there's several different ways that you can use these calipers. There's a set of jaws on the front, and there's also a set of jaws on the back. So if you have something that has a larger diameter hole and you wanted to try to measure that, like for example, if you had this and you wanted to measure the inside diameter of it, using the jaws on the front wouldn't really work, but I can use the jaws on the back and spread it out, and that will let me find the diameter of this hole. And if you can't read it, like for example, like the dial is on the back like that, I can't really read it. So what I can do is just kind of carefully move it back over, and then you can flip it over. These positions don't necessarily move around a whole lot, so you can easily get a measurement for the caliper and then switch it back over. If I look at that one, this goes 0, 1, 2, didn't quite make it to 3. So this is 2.1, 2, 3, 4, and I didn't quite make it to 5. I don't see the line for 5 right there. Let's see if I can actually get this to focus. Yeah, see how you don't actually see the line for 5? It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and that line for 5 is not there. That means this is going to be 2.490, okay, because whenever I look at this dial, it says 90. These are the last 2 digits. These are the first 2 digits. So 2.490. Okay. Let's try to look at this one. There is a little bit of a gap down here, and if I have my jaws, I could try to like make a measurement from here to here. But the problem is I don't really have an easy way to reference that spot, so there could be a little bit of error there. So what we can do is we can use the back of the set of calipers, and the back of the set of calipers has this butt at the end of it. I think it's called the tail, but I don't remember off the top of my head, sorry. You can take that end of the caliper and you can stick it down like this, and whenever it gets down to that bottom part, try to make sure that it's nice and square with the base. And when it doesn't, when it kind of starts to push back at you, that's where your measurement is. So I'm going to flip this back around and I can actually see what the measurement is. We'll look at that one, and it's 0.374. 0.374. So basically using this, you can get measurements to the nearest thousandths of an inch. My in-class people, you guys are going to be using these calipers today. My digital people, I'm going to give you a digital version of this assignment, so please make sure that you check Canvas so that you can try to do this as best you can. I know everybody doesn't have a set of calipers at home, so we're going to have to go with the digital version on this one. So hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk with you guys tomorrow.